Signs are all around us. They mark where we go, what we do, and what we sell. For today's cool project, I'm going to show you how to hand carve this simple sign with a border around it. The carving technique I'll be using is known as chip carving. We'll need a chip carving knife. I bought this one at Amazon. And a piece of basswood, which I got from Michael's. You can get it at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And this chip carving book, which has some pretty cool patterns I'm going to incorporate into my design. So for my corner design, I kind of like this one I found in the book. So I'm going to try to reproduce it here on a blank piece of paper. It may look like I'm freehand drawing this, but actually I am taking exact measurements so I can make both sides of this symmetrical. So now I can cut out the corner and place it in the exact spot on the board. I'll tape down one side, and then I'll use this graphite paper, placing it underneath so I can transfer the image from the paper to the board. Now we can repeat the process for all four corners. I'm using a pencil here. You can use a pen or any other pointed object. It doesn't even have to be a writing implement, just something to put pressure on the line so that you can transfer it from your pattern to the board. I'll cut out each of the letters from the Times Roman style lettering patterns I got from the book. I lined them up and taped them onto a piece of graphite paper. And now, just like we did for the four corners, I'm going to use this pencil to transfer the letter images to the basswood. From my 3-pack set of flex cut carving knives, I'm using the larger of the two half-moon shaped blades. Now for the carving, you may develop your own technique, but if you're doing it properly, the blade should be approximately at a 65-degree angle for carving, with the hand resting on the knuckle of the first finger and thumb. This is the position in which most of the carving is done. Another way to think of this, without running for your protractor, is to remember that you're going to be cutting about 1/8 to 3/16 of an inch deep in a V-shaped pattern. So your left and right cuts will meet at the base of the V, and then your wood chips should pop right out. As you can see, all the cuts are basically the same, even the curved cuts. It's important to keep a steady hand and to keep the knife moving as much as possible. Now don't feel bad if you have to go back for a second or third cut because you didn't clear out all of the wood. For the border lines, I'll be cutting along each side of the line that I drew. It does take an extremely steady hand, but it's easier than you might think. With the soft basswood and a very sharp knife, the wood cuts like butter. And don't give up if you goof up. It does take a little bit of practice. And you can finish your sign 1,000 different ways. If you decide to paint, you don't really need to be neat or careful, because after the paint dries, we're going to sand off any of the overspill. I'm using 150 grit sandpaper wrapped around a piece of wood. After blowing out all the sawdust, I'll be applying several coats of linseed oil to seal the wood. You can also spray polyurethane or brush it on even. Or you may choose nothing at all. Be creative. Marking the center on the back, I'm nailing in this picture hanger. This is just one small example of the endless possibilities achieved by chip carving. Happy carving!